I'm curious from that point how a young woman who gets the message, we were talking about this backstage, how so many of us get fed this terrible story that our ambition, dirty word, curiosity, dirty word, intellect, dirty word, that our power in our bodies and beings as women is a bad thing. So I'm curious how you made a transition from feeling like you needed to be smaller to cultivating a life where the through line of everything that you are is service to others in such a bold way, because you don't shrink anymore.
Yeah.
And I wonder what changed.
Yeah, so being hungry and not knowing where my next meal will come from, just allowing myself into a really negative place, and the struggle to get out of that place, working for a minimum wage and working 40, 50 hours a week, and then still not making enough to be able to pay my bills at the end of the week. And that's a mind thing. When Monday comes and you're like, yes, this is the week I get paid on Friday, but then you also realize, but then I don't even have enough money on that Friday check to pay the bills. All of those things really affected me, but I started to realize this is not just happening to me. So how can I be selfish and work for myself without thinking about others? And that's how it changed. It was like, I can't just work on what's happening in my house. What about someone else's?
Yes. Which leads me to a question again, because you talk about, and the way that you speak about that is such the sensibility of an activist. Someone who looks at their own pain or a problem in their community and says, if this affects me, this affects us.
Yes.
There is such a truth that our liberty is tied together.
Yes.
But when you talk about becoming this activist on the front lines of Ferguson, you say every time, you say, well, I wasn't trying to become an activist, but I lived 6 minutes away.
Yeah.
You showed up to offer your skills to protesters as a nurse.
Yes.
What happened? What flipped the switch that made you realize you'd always been an activist?
Yeah, so just being out there on the ground and the things that I saw. So I initially went out. I wanted to go out and protest, but everybody was just like, no, you can't go out. And so my job ended up sending me out, and that's how I got out there on the ground. But that first day when I got out there and I saw people hurting, I saw people that the only thing that they did wrong was they stepped off the curb. The only thing that they did wrong was when an officer walked up to them and said, move back, and pushed them. They said, don't touch me like that. Those people were slammed to the ground. Some of them were beaten. Some of them were hung upside down and hog-tied off of a baton. There was tear gas coming at us. There were real bullets and rubber bullets and so much happening to regular everyday folks. We're talking about cashiers, teachers, postal workers, nurses, students that the day before had no clue that was about to happen. And so I couldn't turn my back. It was like, yeah, you're out here to be a medic. You're out here to be a nurse. You're out here to be clergy. You're out here praying with people. But there is so much more. So I had to lend my voice, and it was like this insatiable desire to see change. So I had to stay with my people.